All right, everybody, ready to jump in the time machine?
Always. Where are we headed?
Today, we're diving deep into a topic that has fascinated people for centuries. The seven wonders of the ancient world.
Ah, those marvels of engineering and artistry. A classic.
Exactly. But here's the thing. Out of those seven wonders, only one is still standing today.
You're talking about the Great Pyramid of Giza, right?
You know it. It's mind-boggling, really. We're talking about something built around 2560 BCE. To put that into perspective, the Roman Empire hadn't even entered the scene when the pyramids were already ancient history.
Yeah, and don't forget, it held the title of tallest structure on Earth for almost 4,000 years.
It's a testament to, well, I don't even know, the level of planning, the workforce, the sheer will it took to build something that massive using only the tools they had. It's just incredible. And the fact that it's still standing, it's no wonder the Great Pyramid has captivated our imaginations for so long. It's like the ultimate symbol of ancient mystery and human achievement.
Speaking of mystery, have we talked about the Hanging Gardens of Babylon yet? Because there's a reason they're shrouded in so much intrigue.
Oh, I know. We've got these amazing descriptions from ancient writers, talk about lush gardens, waterfalls, exotic plants, you name it. They make it sound like something straight out of a fantasy novel.
Right. But, and this is where it gets interesting, no one has uncovered any conclusive archaeological evidence to prove they actually existed.
So, are we talking tall tales from ancient tourists? Did they exaggerate just a tad?
Possibly.
Oh.
Or maybe the evidence is still out there, buried beneath centuries of sand and time. It's this unanswered question that makes the Hanging Gardens so captivating, even if they were just a product of some of the very active imagination.
It's like a historical puzzle with missing pieces. Okay, so we've got pyramids in Egypt, maybe, maybe not, gardens in Babylon. But our journey through the ancient world doesn't stop there. We're heading to Greece. And we're kicking things off with, drumroll please, the Temple of Artemis at Ephesus.
Oh, the Artemisium. Talk about impressive.
Right.
We're talking 127 towering marble columns. Can you imagine the scale of that?
It's hard to wrap my head around.
And it wasn't just the size. Think sculptures, paintings, intricate carvings, all dedicated to Artemis, the goddess of the hunt.
So what kind of stuff have they found at the site? Give us the details.
Well, we're talking incredible artistry, like scenes from mythology, statues of gods and goddesses, even glimpses into everyday life in Ephesus. Each discovery is a puzzle piece, helping us understand ancient Greek culture and their devotion to Artemis.
And speaking of devotion, let's talk about another wonder dedicated to a deity, the statue of Zeus at Olympia. Now, this wasn't just your average statue, was it?
Not even close. Imagine this, a 40-foot-tall Zeus, seated on a throne, draped in gold, his skin, ivory, and we can't forget the eyes, probably glittering with precious stones. It was a masterpiece.
Sadly, like so many of these wonders, it's gone. What happened?
Fire. It's believed that sometime in the 5th or 6th century CE, the statue was destroyed in a fire. A tragic loss. It makes you think, what will happen to our great creations centuries from now, right?
A sobering thought. Okay, let's move on. From Greece, we're hopping over to present-day Turkey to explore a wonder that's, well, it's made its mark on our language, the mausoleum at Halicarnassus.
The tomb of Mausolus, hence the word mausoleum. Clever, right?
It is. What was it about this particular tomb that made it so special?
Picture this. A towering marble structure covered in sculptures with soaring columns and a pyramidal roof, and to top it all off, a statue of a chariot. A true fusion of Greek, Egyptian, and Persian architectural styles, all to celebrate Mausolus's life.
Talk about going all out. And on that note, let's move to a harbor. Wonder that, although it didn't last very long, has captured imaginations for centuries, the Colossus of Rhodes.
Ah, the bronze giant that stood astride their harbor. It was more than just a statue. It was a symbol of Rhodes' freedom and victory. They even modeled it after Helios, the sun god. Talk about ambitious.
It's an incredible image, but if I remember correctly, it didn't last very long, did it?
Sadly, no. Just a few decades after it was built, a powerful earthquake hit Rhodes, and the Colossus came crashing down. And that was that.
What a way to go. It makes you think about the power of nature and how even the grandest creations are vulnerable to time. Speaking of incredible feats of engineering, let's wrap up this part of our deep dive with the final wonder, the Lighthouse of Alexandria.
Ah, the Pharos. It wasn't just a pretty face. It was essential for navigation. Imagine a towering structure with a blazing light that could be seen for miles, guiding ships safely to Alexandria's harbor.
For over 1,600 years, can you imagine the impact that had on trade and exploration? Just incredible. And to think it was all made possible by the ingenuity of the people who built it.
And it gets even more interesting. For a long time, we thought the lighthouse was lost to history, another wonder claimed by time. That is until 1994.
When archaeologists stumbled upon its remains in Alexandria's harbor, they found it, well, parts of it at least.
It was a huge discovery. And it just goes to show the seven wonders of the ancient world still have the power to surprise us, even after all these centuries.
It makes you realize just how much history is still waiting to be discovered.
It's amazing when you think about it. These weren't just impressive buildings, were they? They were reflections of the cultures and beliefs of the people who created them. Take the Great Pyramid, for instance. All those passages, those chambers, it's like they were trying to create a physical representation of their beliefs about the afterlife.
It's like a glimpse into their worldview, their cosmology, all etched in stone.
Exactly. And it's not just the afterlife. The astronomical alignments, the mathematical precision of their construction, it points to a deep understanding of the natural world.
It really makes you realize how much we can learn from these ancient civilizations, not just about their past, but about our own place in the world.
Right. And think about the Temple of Artemis. It reveals a society that was deeply religious, of course, but also one that was engaged in trade and cultural exchange. Don't forget, Ephesus was a major port city, a melting pot of cultures, and the temple was at the heart of it all.
It's incredible to picture the hustle and bustle of life that must have taken place within those walls. The rituals, the prayers, the everyday interactions, it makes them feel much more real, much more relatable.
Right. These weren't just static monuments. They were living, breathing spaces, central to the fabric of ancient life.
And speaking of lives, the mausoleum at Halicarnassus is a powerful reminder of the human desire to leave a lasting legacy, to be remembered long after we're gone.
Talk about making a statement. Mausolus may not have ruled for very long, but his tomb, well, it ensured his name would echo through history.
It's funny, isn't it? This monument to death, it became a celebration of life, of art, of the enduring power of architecture. But, not all the wonders were about grand gestures like that. The Colossus of Rhodes, for all its size and grandeur, it also symbolized something else entirely.
Freedom. Let's not forget the historical context. The Colossus was built to celebrate Rhodes' victory over invaders. It was a symbol of their resilience, their independence, their determination to protect their way of life.
It's a good reminder that these wonders weren't just about aesthetics. They were deeply intertwined with the political and social realities of their time. And, when you look at each of these wonders, they each represent a pushing of the boundaries of what was possible at the time.
Absolutely. The engineering, the artistry, the sheer scale of these projects, they stand as testaments to human ingenuity and innovation.
And what about the Lighthouse of Alexandria? It wasn't just a marvel of engineering, it was a beacon, both literally and figuratively, of knowledge, of progress, of connection.
For over 1,600 years, it guided ships, facilitated trade, and the exchange of ideas. It's remarkable.
It's easy to get caught up in the romance of it all, to focus on the achievements and forget that these civilizations, they face challenges, conflicts, limitations, just like we do today.
Of course, they weren't perfect. But by studying them, by trying to understand their successes and failures, we gain a deeper understanding, not just of their world, but of our own.
It all ties together, doesn't it? The past, the present, even the future. It makes you wonder, what will people consider to be the wonders of our time centuries from now?
Now that's a question. Will it be our skyscrapers, our technological advancements, or something else entirely, something we haven't even imagined yet?
It really makes you think about the mark we're leaving on the world, doesn't it? What will our legacy be?
It's a humbling thought. And speaking of legacies, when you think about the seven wonders, what do you think their most enduring legacy is?
For me, it's their power to inspire awe even after all this time. It's incredible how these structures, some lost to history, can still make us question what we think we know about the past.
It really speaks to the power of human achievement, doesn't it? And to our own curiosity. We're drawn to these mysteries, these glimpses into worlds so different from our own.
It's a reminder that there's still so much out there to discover. Speaking of discoveries, those excavations at the Temple of Artemis we talked about? I read that they found these incredible mosaics showing daily life in ancient Ephesus.
Oh yeah, those mosaics are amazing.
Yeah.
They give us a peek into what life was like back then, the clothes they wore, the food they ate, everything.
It's those little details that make these ancient civilizations come alive. Suddenly they don't seem so different from us, do they?
Exactly. These wonders weren't just about power and grandeur. They were expressions of creativity, ingenuity. the human desire to leave a mark on the world.
And that desire, that impulse to create, it's still with us today, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. We might not be building pyramids anymore, but we're still finding ways to push boundaries, to connect with each other, to make our mark.
Look at the International Space Station, for example. Talk about a modern marvel, a testament to human collaboration and our drive to explore.
And what about the internet? It's hard to believe, but just a few decades ago, the way we communicate and share information today would have been unimaginable.
It really makes you wonder what people will be saying about our time centuries from now. Will they look back at our skyscrapers, our technology, with the same awe we feel when we think about the pyramids?
That's the big question, isn't it? What will our legacy be? Maybe it's not even about the physical things we build, but about the impact we have on the world, the knowledge we create, the connections we make.
Those are the things that truly stand the test of time, aren't they?
They really are. And as we've seen with the Seven Wonders, even those lost to time, they serve as a powerful reminder of that enduring human spirit, that drive to create, to innovate, to strive for something extraordinary.
Perfectly said. And on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive into the seven wonders of the ancient world. But the journey doesn't have to stop here. Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and who knows, maybe you'll uncover a few wonders of your own along the way.